Yeah, I know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. I got a special treat for y'all today. Normally I would do my storytelling, lay out some kind of scenario for you and tell you how it ends, but today I'm going to be doing an interview with this brother named Chris. His name is Chris Dorsey, right? Good brother, right? He came to me by way of a friend of mine, Brian. Y'all have heard Brian on some of my shows. We talking back and forth about different things. But he told me about this brother, and it was intriguing to listen to him, how he talked about him. And he's really fond of this brother. So he had a lot of good things to say. So I'm working on these new line of shows that I'm going to be doing called, Life After Lockup, right? And he's one of the individuals that, fit the criteria for what it is that I wanted to do. And these types of shows are going to be about individuals that have been there, done that, gone through it, gotten out, and against all odds have become successful at what they do and maintain that path. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, right, I'm going to let you listen to what this brother has to say. I'm going to be asking him a lot of questions. If any of you out there, you know what I'm saying, as you listen to this interview, you got anything you want to say to this brother, hit me up in the comment sections so I can pass that information on to him. I'm hoping that he'll be listening to the show himself, so he'll be able to see the comments on us. So y'all go in there and give this brother his props, right? But Chris, how you doing today?
Hey, what's good, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, right? Look here. Before we get started, right, I wanted to thank you for doing this interview, first of all, and but let's jump right into it. Like, you came to Tennessee by way of New Orleans, right?
Yeah, man. I
Tell us
moved
about
to
that. Tell us
Memphis.
about that. What happened? Why'd you end up in Tennessee?
Yeah, man. Mother Nature. Everything seems like it's already out of our control, and then when it really happens, we kind of get surprised, but we don't control nothing. So we moved to Memphis in '05. I was 15, and we lost everything. My whole
Okay,
family moved up there.
okay. What he's talking about, y'all, is that during Katrina, y'all remember Katrina when it tore New Orleans up, right? He ended up having to move down this way with his family. You know what I'm saying? And then tell us about
Mm-hmm.
that. Tell us what that was like for you as a kid. And how old were you at that time?
I was 15, man. At first, I didn't understand it. It was just I was with my family, so I had that comfort even in the midst of the problem. But
Hmm.
as I got older, I seen how that affected me
Yeah.
in my development as a man.
In what ways did it affect you?
Uh, it created a certain uncertainty of,
Hmm.
damn, well, what can happen next, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a subject that nobody really talked about in my family. We was just trying to get those FEMA checks, get on with our lives. We never really patched up the situation, and I
Right.
learned how to do that in prison.
And you learn how to patch situations up in prison. Be a little bit more
Yeah,
specific for me, if you will, about what do you mean patch it up? I understand what you're saying, but I want to make sure that my listeners understand exactly what you're saying. What do you mean patch it up when you said that? Explain that for me a little bit, if you don't mind.
yeah. I feel like life is chapters, and in order to move to the next one with success or any type of success, then you have to completely shut off the last chapter, closing the deal, talking to people that you need to talk to, keeping bridges, burning bridges if people are not happy for you. You just gotta put it all out and move forward and accept who you are today and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, so let me ask you this, because I know in the build up to this interview, I had talked to you and Brian about different things, and I asked you a question because you're making me think something. So I want to go on and go there, right? I asked you a
All right.
question about affiliation, and you told me that you were affiliated, right? Now, the question that I have for you, brother, is that tell my audience what you were affiliated with and why, and when did you become a part of that, and did that have anything to do with your transition from New Orleans to Memphis?
No, man. Actually, when I moved to Memphis, I was all about sports. I played sports. I had my mom and dad in my life. No
Okay.
brothers and sisters. So a lot of people would say that I'm spoiled, and they'll
Hmm.
try me, and
Hmm.
they'll lose.
Right.
And I seen how that went to prison. When I got locked up, I was that same person.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a little different. It was a spark in my life because I lost everything again. And I was facing 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like I joined Vice Lord when I got locked up.
When you got locked up. Okay.
I joined Vice Lord in prison.
Okay. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? I don't want to stop you, interrupt you, but I want to make sure I'm filling in these details. Why did you?
I did that because those were the guys that I was always around in prison.
Yeah.
And we was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
My mind was still on, like, you can't beat me, whatever it is.
Right.
But it was used in the wrong way. And that's what I, ultimately learned, how to prioritize things.
Right. So do you think that what you went through with Katrina and that uncertainty that you felt, do you think that in some kind of way drove you in that direction? Did Vice Lord give you a sense of certainty in your life, a sense of purpose in your life?
Yeah, man, they did. They made me feel like, bro, listen, even though we locked up, we still finna do what we can,
Yeah.
And we go push you in a direction where you are trying to grow. And that was me trying to be a barber at the time because I wasn't really.
Mm-hmm.
But they sent it. And they was like, bro, you need to da-da-da.
Right.
And, things happened. 3 years passed by, and I finally made a decision. And said, I'm going to do this. If I'm going to do it, I'm not going to have stuff. I'm going to do it. And they going to let me. You know what I'm saying? Cause
right.
I've been on the front line, and I've been where they've been at.
Right.
But they see change in my heart. They see growth in my mind.
Right.
And,
so,
they want somebody to make it out.
Right. So so, okay, then that's cool too. But let me, because I see that, and look here, I'm not doing anything to you that I don't do to everybody when I do my interviews, right? Because you moving past real fast a lot of what I want to talk about or what, like filling in some blanks. So tell me about what your life was like as a Vice Lord. What was that like for you? Because you came to prison and you joined, and a lot of people do that. And this podcast is about trying to deter people and give people the real so that they can make those types of decisions that are going to be helpful to them. And I don't want to leave the wrong impression. So what was it like for you in the penitentiary as a Vice Lord?
Yeah. Man, everything has good sides and bad sides to it. It's nothing perfect.
Okay.
So when you do take it upon yourself to join an organization that's been established like that and has grown in different ways, because people are in leadership and they have different type of mental thinking, but it's not all good. You're gonna be in stressful situations, to where you got to be accountable for your brothers.
Okay.
When you didn't have no type of involvement in the thing, so
Mm-hmm.
that's added pressure to you trying to better yourself because it's a conflict.
Right. Give me an example of that, because I know I was part of GD for years, a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's, man, look, at Northwest, man, we got into it with the GDs.
Right.
And it was
then.
It was a real war. I'm talking about real war.
Yeah.
But they had more people, and they had butchers. We had less people. We had a lot of white boys.
Yeah.
And we had no butchers.
Yeah.
So I got out that motherfucker scot-free. I'm talking about I ain't get stabbed. I was in the midst of it. I'm fighting.
Yeah.
And 3 months later, when we came off lockdown, that a GD OG, he ain't really do nothing because he wise.
Right.
And when I came out the cell, he knocked on the door because his door was still locked, and he told me to come in. And he wanted to holler at me, so the CO opened his door. So when I went in, he was like, bro, I don't know who you are. I never had too many conversations with you.
Yeah.
But when you was up there, it looked like an army of angels was fighting with you, bro. It looked like you couldn't be touched.
Right.
I had a dream about that.
Right.
I had a dream about it. And then when the dream was, you was talking to 2 women. I don't know who the women were. And you said, don't worry about nothing. I'm going to come out better. I got y'all.
Right.
And I always remembered that. That was kind of the turning point for me.
Oh, really?
That's the turning point, because this is a person that I just got into it with, and he pulled me over like a grown man to talk about it.
Right.
That's what I was missing, to talk about it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To close that chapter.
Right.
So when we did speak, bro, I hugged that brother.
Yeah.
We all got up with each other, talked to the heads, and we resolved it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did my best from that point on to move forward in the way that I wanted to, and that was cutting hair.
Cutting hair. So when did you start cutting hair?
Man, I've been cutting since I was 9 years old.
9 years old. 9 years old. So you were cutting hair down in New Orleans then?
I was cutting in New Orleans, Memphis, in prison. I'm the
Yeah.
best everywhere I go.
Yeah, I dig that. That's what's up. That's what's up. And for y'all out there that's listening, the reason that this is important, I think that this interview is important, is because you have to understand that a lot of us make decisions and get involved in things that we look back on and we regret to some extent. But then at the same time, there were those moments where we found the right individual to say the right thing to us. In this situation here, what Chris is talking about is one of those situations. He was in a war. Listen to what I'm trying to say to y'all now. He was in a war with the opposition. You feel what I'm saying? And he came out unscathed, and he ended up having to talk to one of the individuals, or ended up talking to one of the individuals that was part of the ops, and he found encouragement from that conversation. See, a lot of people out there now that's repping whatever they rep, they feel like it's always going to be beef and that's just what it's going to be. But that's not necessarily the case. That's not what's real. And he found that out. And so when you beyond that, when you kept pushing and you became, that different person mentally, you know what I'm saying? Did you have any spiritual awakenings that occurred in your life at that particular time?
Yeah, man.
So are you a believer? Let me ask you the question first. Are you a believer?
Am I a believer?
Yeah, are you a believer?
A believer of what?
In the Most High. Do you believe do you believe there's a God?
Of course.
And how is that understanding of the Most High affected your life?
Man, he was always present, even in my worst times. He
Really?
was always behind the scene, making sure that I go untouched and unfazed.
Yeah, because
he made everything a learning experience. I asked for patience. He allowed me to come to prison. I asked for strength. He allowed me to fight 10 niggas. So I don't know. He put me in situations where I didn't understand at the moment, like what the hell is going on. But now as I'm 33, I'm like, bro, I'm so grateful for that. Because anything that I've seen before.
Right.
In this passage, 2 Chronicles 7:14, if you will come humble yourself, pray, seek my face, turn from your wicked ways, and then I'll forgive your sins and heal your land. You have to do all those things for him to really make impactful changes in your life. You have to realize that I am just a servant.
Right.
That I did wrong.
Right.
And I am sorry. And I'm sorry. And I want better for me, my family, my brothers, my sisters. I want to be a legend in that way instead of just being a top vice lord or, the best barber. That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is meeting people and sharing and closing chapters and opening new ones. Because a lot of people be on the fence, man, but they don't talk about it because they don't know you. But I'm privileged enough to be a barber that I can tap into that.
Dig that.
It's just a beautiful thing, man, for real.
Yeah, I believe that. I know that. Now, when you were in prison, you came to prison twice, right? In 09 and 15.
I came to prison a lot of times. I've been locked up my whole 20s.
And you came to prison, you were in for drugs, weed, whatever, and robbery and assault, right?
Yeah.
Okay, when you were doing those things, can you give me an example, even if you have to think about it, can you give me an example of how you knew that what you were doing was wrong and the Most High was somewhere on the scene, you just didn't see it at the time? Can you think of any example of that happening to you?
When you're in the midst of doing some legal stuff, man, you're not thinking about nothing but getting out of there and going back home. So I wasn't thinking about God when I did all my things, but he was thinking about me. And I see that now. I see that, man, because a lot of people don't get the chance, and they don't get the skill to make that chance everlasting. He always been there. Always, man. And even with my mom, she's the most spiritual person in the world. To the point where she became more spiritual because I kept getting locked up, and that's all she had. But That's her strength. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I just learned to let people, just be themselves if it's working. So if you Muslim, Christian, or whatever,
Right.
and it's making you a better person,
Mm-hmm.
man, continue that. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah. You got to continue that. So, what was the relationship like between you and your mom while you were in prison? Was she worried about you? What?
Yeah, man, my mom was my backbone in prison, man. She was my advisor, and she coached me. She made sure, she put $20 on my book every month.
Yeah. Yeah. We need
But
that.
we need that little 20, right?
What you said.
But man, I don't know, man. She just was. I don't know. She was a spiritual person at the time because she wasn't there all the way to where she would be a crutch when I get out, but she was there just enough to where I don't starve to death.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Just enough.
Because she knew I had it. You got it, bro. You been had it your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about
Sometimes.
direction.
Yeah. Sometimes, man, we gotta. When we down in that mud, we gotta realize on our own. They'll do enough for us just to hold us up, but the rest of it we got to do on our own, man. And that's parents and people that love us. They have this ability to be able to just give you enough of what you need to hold on until you get to the point where you realize you are better than what you been showing through your actions. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about Chris and what you're doing today and how your life has turned out so far since you've been out.
Man, I smile every morning. Every morning, I get up like I'm doing TikTok videos. I don't know. I just feel like I have the ability to be great, and I have the opportunity. Now I'm doing it. I'm talking about I got my barber license. I went to Dismas House. They established foundation for me.
Right.
And got me get my driver's license. I owe 18 grand for running from the police and crashing.
Right.
They got it dropped to 800.
Right.
I don't know. Just like I said, he always was there. So
Right.
me knowing that now, in the direction I'm going, I'm so humble and thankful. People don't understand that because they've been out in the real world struggling, and they didn't have that Mount Zion moment when they was put in solitude and they really can put some stuff together. But I did. So when I pop up with this good spirit, man, they looking at you like, bro, come on. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So that's good. That's good.
You just got to continue to do that. You just got to continue to do that because eventually, law of attraction, you're going to get around people with the same mindset. And that's exactly what happened.
Right.
In 6 months, I was in another barbershop.
Yeah.
And everything is perfect. I drive Audi. I got a wife. I got a son. We got a puppy. I got a closet full of shoes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not on parole. I just got approved for an apartment.
Right.
Like, everything is going to align. So I don't be stressing no more.
Yeah, dig that. So how does that weigh with your past life? Do you ever have any interactions with anybody from your past Vice Lord association?
Yeah, man, I just went to Memphis to go see them guys.
Yeah, and how?
I just bought the puppy from one of my brothers.
How was it?
But it's always good to see them because they actually seen me, in my success.
They're proud of you. They're proud of you too, huh?
They're proud of me. But it's not even about them being proud of me. It's about me being proud of me. It's about my mama being proud of me. They just met me.
Right.
That's been in my life. That's everything.
Right,
and
but
then it's holiday season. I'm finna go back to Memphis.
Yeah.
And see my mom and dad, man, and spend time with my little cousins.
Right.
So I couldn't ask for nothing else, because I know in due time it's gonna come. If I need it, just like my mom, it's gonna come.
Yeah. But see, but let me say this though. I want to add this to it before we leave here. I think it's important that even though, like, I dig where you're coming from, bro, when you said it's not important that they be proud of you, but your mom and your wife, your son, all of that is Gucci, right? But see, I believe that, those brothers, because like I said, I went through this with GD, right? Those brothers that may not know you as well or as long as your parents and your wife been knowing you, they know you though. You know what I'm saying? They know what they do know about you, right? And when they are able to see that you were able to overcome and go on and be successful in a legitimate way, I think that means something. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of brothers that listen to me and look at me and say that I want to do that. They might not do the same things that I'm doing, but I believe that people like me and you, we have to, in a sense, pay our dues because, we lived a lifestyle that was a violent lifestyle, no matter how we like to sugarcoat it. It was a violent lifestyle. And we influenced a lot of people to do a lot of things that, I know I look back, I wish I wouldn't have done. So now I want to be that light for those brothers that feel like they're trapped in the lifestyle and think that there's no way out. I want to be that light. And I'm sure that's what you want too, right?
Yeah, I do. I do want to be the light. But, sometimes you got to do that from a distance.
Absolutely.
Certain people, because they still be trapped. But so, like I said, I just went to Memphis and I got over those guys. Those guys are on the same mental as me. So you're not on the same mental as me, you my brother, then I love you, but I love you with a 10-foot pole.
Absolutely. I totally understand. I totally understand that. Absolutely. All right. I totally understand that. You know what I mean? Right. I totally understand that. That's for sure, right? But
those guys that I've seen, they got careers, they got families, they still affiliated. Right. But they have stability. And a lot of brothers, black brothers, don't know what stability is, man. And I would love to talk about it and help and coach somebody. But then if they don't want it, then it's a little different. But if you want it, I'm here. I'm doing interviews. I'm talking to you.
Yeah, all of that.
It's all about what you want.
Yeah, it's all about what you want, right? But I believe, you got to plant that seed, man, and don't worry about the seed being watered. The Most High gonna water it. You plant the seed, do what you do, say what you say. And, you keep it moving, right? Like you say, love them from a distance. You know what I'm saying? Because it gets tricky out there. It gets real tricky out there, man.
It does, man.
It gets tricky.
And I got to protect myself.
Yeah, you got responsibilities now. You got to protect your family. You know what I'm saying? Now, I want to say one more thing. Is there anything that you would like to say to anybody that's listening to this show today that may come from a similar walk of life? What would you say to them? What would be your 30-second elevator pitch to them something that would encourage them? What would you say to them if you had that opportunity right now?
Man, real talk though, I would say, they say when you get in some trouble, you always go back to the person you was. Luckily, the person I was family oriented, spiritual, had support and shit. But you can always search if you want a better life. You can get around people if you see good in their heart. You can actually, change your trajectory if you can actually see yourself and then see how you really want to be. But I don't know. It's always starts mentally. So you gotta, I don't know. You gotta see it mentally for yourself. And I pray for everybody, man. Shout out to Brian for being my brother, for being my friend, for helping me. Brian Curtin, man, just continuing to be in my life when he don't know it, because he on my mirror, man. So I want to say thank you to him, and I want to say, man, you can do it. Man, you can do it, man. And I know Brian finna get out and we finna live it up. But for those who feel like they don't know what a chance is, man, it's all around you. It's the difference between vision and seeing. So
what's the difference? What's the difference then? What is it?
The difference of vision is I see myself in the future versus me seeing who I am today.
There it is. Now, I know. I just wanted you to say it,
Yep.
Dig that.
Yep. So, I mean, you can be blind and you see.
Yeah.
But if you have vision, you are in great shape. Because now it's all about the work and the process. Like what you gonna put in it. So
that's real.
That's what I say. Put that work in, because I did.
Dig that. With that, I'm gonna end this show right there, bro. And I want to thank you for taking the time to sit down and do this. I think it's gonna reach a lot of people. I know it's gonna reach a lot of people. And for all of y'all out there that are listening to the show, man, hit me up in the comments section, man. Tell Chris what you think. You know what I'm saying? Tell him how proud you are of him, because I know you are. You know what I mean? And give him some strength in the words that you're going to send out. I know you will. You know what I'm saying? This has been another episode, and appreciate you, Chris. I really do. I want you to understand. I appreciate that, okay?
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.